This may look like an oversized child's toy phonograph, but it's not. It's a Carola, and it was marketed as a regular phonograph for adults in a smaller package. And it's made out of metal, which gives it a much better sound, as the advertising would say, because something about the metal made it resonate better than a wood cabinet. I don't know. But in 1916, they came out with this machine in Cleveland, Ohio. And as I said, it's not a child's toy, so the marketing tried to reflect that they were selling it to adults, but it was in a smaller size. It was reintroduced as the new Carola in 1922, so they did sell well and they lasted for quite a while. Apparently this company, I'll show you the inside, apparently this company also moved into Canada, but we have no evidence that they were actually manufactured in Canada. It's got an unusual claim to fame. It doesn't have really a horn. In most cases, this cabinet style, of course bigger and in wood, would have had a horn here, an inside horn. This doesn't. It has a horn mechanism here that is, the sound is reflected off the lid. So when I bring you in close, you'll see what I'm talking about. And it's actually pretty well made. It was inexpensive and probably sold very well. And except for one problem I'm finding with this particular one, they seem to work. I've seen many of them that work quite well. So I'm going to bring you in for a close-up, and we'll take a look at this really strange machine. The finish on it is actually really nice. I mean, it's fake mahogany, but it's done really well. I mean, that looks a lot like wood. Pretty amazing job. And down here where you would normally find an internal horn and possibly space for records, you find space for records, but no internal horn. Open the lid and you can see the mechanism. The problem I'm having with this one is the turntable seems very wobbly and it affects the playing of the record, and that's probably just from age. It probably got damaged somewhere along the line. So here's the reproducer. It's a fairly big diaphragm, so it probably sounds pretty good. And then the sound comes out the back of this horn here and reflects off the curved surface of the back of the cabinet. So the lid is actually the horn. There's the decal. And there's the serial number. And the brake. So let's hear this thing. All right, let me start it up. It doesn't really have a good place to rest the reproducer. There we go. You can see how the horn swivels. You can see the turntable wobbles. I gotta get that fixed. But it sounds pretty loud and clear. I have to say, I'm actually impressed with the sound. Now that may not have sounded perfect to you, but remember, this gasket and the rubber tubing around it on the reproducer hasn't been replaced in 100 years. Which means it's deteriorated quite a bit and lost a lot of its flexibility. And it sounds still pretty loud and clear. So I can only imagine that when it was new, it probably sounded really good. And yeah, it was a machine that would work for adults playing music to dance to. So very unusual machine. And metal, which sounds better.